I said, I don't know how this is going to sound to you, but I forgive you. I don't know how you feel about me right now, but I forgive you. I don't know why you didn't give me any answers to my stories, to my questions, but I forgive you. I don't believe that you didn't love me, but you never showed it to me, and I forgive you. I ask the time that I would understand where you are, why, but I forgive you. I forgive you because you didn't understand. I forgive you because you took that to your grave. Whatever that story was, you never unleashed the dirt. The dirt never erupted from her gut. So therefore, the dirt never erupted from mine. Until you go back to where it started, you will never see the blooms. You'll never see the blooms until you go back. Going back is hard. But once I went back, and now I can see that I am her, all the dirt is gone, all the pain, all the suffering, all the unknowing, because there's a lot of unknowing in us. To this day, I don't know who my real father is. I'm 68 years of age. I know I don't look like my brothers and sisters, but my father is all I knew. And I forgive him for that. Because when you love somebody so much, and God tells you, forgive so that you can be forgiven, the longer you hold on to that unforgiveness, the longer that dirt is gonna pile down on you. Because everything is going to be something different. Every time you plant something, it doesn't mean it's always going to grow. If you plant a pear tree will not bloom. A pear tree will bloom every year, but a pear will not come on that tree for 5 years. Every 5 years, you get pears, edible pears, enjoyable pears. You may get little things on it, but it won't grow to the right size and the right consistency for you to eat it. There's nothing that is kept a secret that can grow. If you put it in the ground and it doesn't come out, doesn't mean that it's in the ground. Doesn't mean that it's not there. Les Brown said he planted a Chinese bamboo tree for 5 years. Water, sun, fertilizer, everything for 5 years. Nothing happened. The ground did not erupt. The earth did not come to fullness. It never came out of the ground. But once the tree grew, it erupted to something. When you think about the mustard seed of your faith, as small as it is, grows the biggest tree, the strongest tree. Have you ever seen a mustard tree grow? No, but you've seen mustard seeds, and they're so tiny. The little seeds that's inside of us. Some of those seeds we need to kill. Some of those seeds we need to kill. We need to not water them anymore. The seed of doubt, don't water that. The seed of anger, don't water it. The seed of anxiety, all of those seeds, don't water them, because everything you water will grow. May not grow right away, but it will grow. So give attention to her.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. That's good. That's good. When you were talking, the thought, the definition of bloom, I wrote it down, but when you were talking, I wanted to, it was a couple of them, but a few of them I wrote down. It says a flower, especially one cultivated for its beauty, come into or be in a full beauty or health, to flourish, a state or period of greatest beauty, freshness, or vigor. So it just made me think about when you talked about the pear, too, just this whole idea of you're blooming, you're flowering, might be seasonal, but it doesn't mean that work isn't being done and you're not still alive and things still not working out for you, you know? So, yeah.
Hello. Hi, Eris. I commend you. I thank you for that. That's really inspiring. That's what I needed to hear. You know, I'm hearing that. I'm listening to there's motivational speakers, but to just hear sitting around where I am. You know, I didn't need to go on to hear Les Brown today. I heard you, and it was so inspiring. You know, and I could identify there. Because with you, I'm just gonna say this, you know, I gotta I had a spider plant. I got a spider plant. And I watered that plant for 3 winters. And all they did, they say, well, it's gonna bloom. I kept watering it and talking to it. I named it. And it never bloomed. Well, the last, right at COVID, I walked on my porch. And it had the most beautiful blossoms I've yet to see. So anything you want, you nurture will blossom. And when you said about the I said, that's my plant sitting on my table right now. And I'm still nurturing it because I guess it blooms in certain times of the year or every other year. And I'm looking every day. I'm watering it every day. I'm talking to it every day. Waiting on the blossom. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
You know, the sad thing is we water everything except ourselves.
Okay.
That's why we're here today.
We give sunshine to everything except ourselves.
Allowing it in my spirit.
Yeah.
It come into my spirit.
Yes. Everything.
Right.
That's what
everything except come in to hear this and to be with all of you.
Sometimes as kids, you gotta be the parents. You gotta push the parents. Sometimes as kids, you got to. This is a safe place. Sometimes you have to be.
This ain't no safe space when she's talking about me.
Okay.
They say I'm hitting all columns. I'm hitting all columns. Okay.
I want to read this, and please, if anybody else has something they want to share, I'll let you share. I don't want to jump in and discuss something that came up.
I'll just say, hearing both stories here as a daughter, and hearing Adelai talk about her grandmother, I know for me, I'm an individual that I know the importance and understanding of time. A lot of times I press for those answers, and that was good to hear that sometimes it's not the time to get that answer from people, you know. Sometimes, like, you couldn't get certain things from your grandmother for whatever reasons. Sometimes you can't, but then hearing my mother speak, you also, some answers you have to pull and make your parents give you. sometimes you gotta push your parents a little bit and encourage them along the way, because a lot of times as you get older, you know the things that you need in the inside for yourself. So I'll hear my brother a lot of times ask my mom, "Can you cook, Mom? Can you make me something to eat? Can you?" He sometimes just wants her food, and I told her one time, "Hey, cook for him. You know, you in a rush, you in a hurry and stuff. Sometimes as kids, we just need those things. You never know how that's gonna bless your child. You never know what he needs at that moment or she needs at that moment. So as children, it's so okay to press our parents as well. Sometimes that helps them to grow and bloom into who they're supposed to be, because we are a team. So as mom and daughter, we're blooming together and being planted together at times. So sometimes it's okay for us to,
Y'all have vision,
yeah.
and you help me see my vision. You know, because I've been in some spaces and we got doomed. But you saw, as you saw Grandma inspired, you saw me inspired, and y'all got a vision beyond. So when you saying, "Mommy, just maybe cook," that's a safe space. You know, I have to get outside of my own confined space. I have to get outside that box and say, well, instead of me grumping like I do, just do it. Just do it. And in that space, process what I'm feeling in that space. You know, give it life. You know what I'm saying? I find be appreciative of it. What, like they say, let God get the glory of this. You know, because she's grown. She's responsible for her children. But there's a space that I still need to hold. But I need to find out what's in that space that I need to let go of and replenish. As I let go of some healthy things back there, so I can be that rock, or just be in that space for whatever coming. You know what I'm saying? And look for the good. That's what I say.
I never believed I could have peace until I went to my mother's grave.
It's in the shows.
I never believed that I could have peace. I never believed that joy was possible until that day, June the 17th, 2022, when I drove to that grave and I spoke to her. And I came back home. I drove there and drove back home that same night. I stopped at every store that I could stop to find balloons, because the Holy Spirit told me to get balloons, 3 balloons, and release the balloons. And as I released the balloons, I released everything that had me bound. I bought 3 balloons. One was a beautiful pink flowers. It was so pretty. One was a heart, a red heart, and the other one was a star, a silver star. And I released the balloons one at a time. And I said some things to her when I released that first balloon. And I watched it fade away. The second balloon, I released it. And I said some things to her. And as that balloon faded away, that second balloon, I didn't want to leave space where it was. To Charleston, to the grave, but I released the balloons from my home. My mom used to love beer, and I don't drink beer. And I had a bottle of beer, a can of beer or something that my brother had left at the house. And as I released that last balloon, I poured the can of beer out at the same time. I don't know why it was, but I did. And from that day, I know that up a place in me that had been dark so very long. And when that light came on, it's like, it was something amazing because it's easy now for me to forgive. It was hard to forgive, but now it's easy for me to forgive. It's easy now because I can laugh at people. When people don't like me, I laugh at them.
Yeah.
Now it's funny. When you talk about me, I laugh about it now. Like, girl, did you hear? Okay.
Well, everybody called her fat when she said.
Oh, gosh. That's the most amazing thing. And I came up with acronyms for the word fat.
What we got?
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
What is fabulous, attentive, and talented.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
I'll take it.
I'll do that.
I come up with a different word for fat every time somebody says fat to me.
Fabulous, attractive, and talented.
I'm furious. I'm fearless.
Mhm.
I'm faithful. And then I just add a T and an A. And I'm all, anything you call me fat, anytime you call me fat now, I accept it.
Okay, because you that is.
Because I'm fabulous.
Yes,
I'm attractive.
you're all of that.
And I'm talented.
That's right. Yeah, wonder what.
So anytime somebody calls you something, find a new word for it.
I know that's right.
My name is Onyx, the voice activator. I activate everything else new because anything you say about me, I can change it.
At the drop of a dime.
At the drop of a hat.
Mhm.
You know, I'm planting, whether it's good or bad, you know, regardless of the seed is good or bad, it causes an unearthing, right? And that unearthing causes a thing, a purpose, your feet to rise, it causes something to arise. So it doesn't matter how, even when you plant plants, something has to be unearthed, whether it's a good seed or bad. It causes an unearthing. It causes an unearthing.
You know, when I went to your girls and I shared with your girls, and I remember those young ladies talking, and the things that you said to them was so powerful and impactful to them. How you said, I'm always going to have you in a safe place. Sometimes we're not in safe places.
No. No.
Sometimes we're not in safe places. If we don't make room for places to be safe, we'll never be in a safe place.
That's true. That's true. And the reason I like to try to, I really
Oh, Adeline, I'm sorry.
like to try to hold a safe space is because of what you just said. Me growing up, there were not a lot of safe spaces. And then they were distorted as to being safe. You know, so just that little space, you know, it don't have to be a lot. Because I got my own stuff, you know, things that I'm internalizing. But just to know that we need to be more together and support each other. It allows me to just have that little space there. And then if it needs to open up, God's will and his guidance, it opens. But just know that I like to have that space. Just sitting there, just there.
What about when that space is actually, you're the space that's not safe? What about when you're that space that's not safe, because you haven't unearthed your body, your internal, you're
And
not safe?
that's what I'm working.
I don't mean that for you.
No, but I'm just gonna take it for me, because that's another, space that I need to, that's where Bloom, where you at? That's what I'm trying to unleash now, you know, because sometimes when I do hold a safe space, I'm nervous in that space, because I'm not so sure that if I hold a safe space for someone else, how do I get to hold a safe space? Who's gonna hold it? You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
That's where I have to trust the God, my God, because man, even the best of us would say that we're there, but circumstances arise and things happen, calamities happen, and that person that is maybe expecting something from you, which is, that's a little harsh, you could never understand why I was unavailable, because they know that they were expecting something from me. So I have to be careful, just protecting my space,
What, I feel like with that question that you just asked, when we're not the safe space for ourselves, I feel like for me, it is continuously doing the work, and then that creates, that starts gearing my mind to get to that safe space. I have to detach, I have to go where my mind can feel freer, so I can think, so I can heal, so I can process. I have to go by myself and not just deal with, but get to know me, get to spend time with just me, and then I start becoming that safe space for myself more and more as I begin to trust myself. I begin to trust my decisions. I begin to like myself more, even if those things don't look good to other people, even if they are judged harshly by other people, even if other people don't understand or disapprove of those things. Those, I have to go to what makes me happy and then filter those things and start processing them and seeing, are these healthy or are these unhealthy? But getting back to her, taking care of her, then that creates my safe space for me.
You say something, I'm gonna see. I know, when I thinking about that question, I realize when I'm not safe is typically when I'm trying to protect myself. When I'm not safe is I'm feeling insecure and I'm avoiding vulnerability. So therefore, like you say, hit dog collar, and the most dangerous animal is a wounded animal. And so when I feel wounded, then my natural inclination, my default is to fight. So my fight might be my words. I can be very quick with what I say, or my nonverbal communication. Eric's been on me about that a lot, because I'm glad, because it has helped me get closer to my kids. And that's something my mom and I have been working on a lot too. It hurts to know that I can have my times where I know I'm not a safe space. But then, like I said earlier, that's the space I have to give myself grace. Because if I don't give myself grace there, I'm gonna continually be unsafe. The grace allowed me to take the toxicity out of what's going on and get to the root of the problem. And I tell you one thing, teenagers really help you realize when you're safe and when you're not safe, and husbands do that too. So what you talking about?
So don't leave us out,
What you talking about? Don't forget my ass. No, I'm mad.
I found here lately, for me, if I'm not saying it right, maybe you all can help me. Creating a safe space for me was just finding, spending time with me. I'm so busy all over the place trying to make this happen, trying to make, substitute one feeling for another, adding on. But what I've been conditioning myself to do over the past, I've been practicing for a while, but I've been being intentional about it. It's just sitting in a quiet space, maybe early in the morning, and finding me some minutes in the middle of the day, and not just in the morning, in the middle of the day, just take a breather, sit back, and just say, okay, Susan, you're okay. It's okay, rest yourself, you're good. Just at some point before I go to sleep, I just relax, giving myself that time. I'm it's okay. It's okay
We get close to 5. But we're gonna do this again. Y'all know the location now, so we're not done, but I'm just saying like it's 4:45, and like I told Mia's good with time, y'all. She helped me be better with time. So I really appreciate all y'all being here and taking this time. Like boom, will be playing. Right? The first one is Isaiah 28, and it starts at verse 23. I'm reading. Now this is I think this is the New King James version. But it says, "Give ear and hear my voice. Give attention and hear my speech. Does he who plows for sowing plow continually? Does he continually open and harrow his ground? When he has leveled its surface, does he not scatter dill, sow cumin, and put in wheat in rolls, and barley in its proper place, and emmer as the border? For he is rightly instructed, his God teaches him. Dill is not threshed with the threshing sledge, nor is a cartwheel rolled over cumin, but dill is beaten out with a stick, with a rod. Does one crush grain for bread? No, he does not thresh it forever. When he drives his cartwheel over it with he does not crush it." And all of this because, verse 29, "This also comes from the Lord of hosts. He is wonderful in counsel and excellent in wisdom." And when I read this, it really resonated with me because he said, "Give ear," and he started talking about, and I read it in the New International Version, but I just don't have that in front of me, so I'm reading it in this version. Mona, what version are you looking at right now?
King James.
Okay,
What was
so
it?
that's
What
the
was
same.
it?
It's Isaiah 28. Is that Bible? Is that the Bible
Yeah.
app? Can you go to the New International Version real quick? And change it Isaiah 28, verse 23 through 29. So he pretty much says, do you annually, what do you do with the dill, the cumin, the wheat, the barley, the emmer? Every plant supposed to be planted a certain way in a certain place. It's also supposed to be harvested a certain way in a certain place. And he said, who told us how to do that? The Lord of hosts. So how you gonna figure out how to do? Because I know it's like, well, how I'm supposed to do this? I ain't got no money. I can't. Whatever you can come up with. The answer is verse 29, the second half. He is wonderful in counsel and excellent in wisdom. You got it up?
Caraway and scatter cumin? Does he not plant wheat in its? His God instructs him and teaches him the right way. Caraway is threshed with a sledge, nor is the wheel of a cart rolled over cumin. Caraway is beaten out with a rod, and cumin with a stick. Grain must be ground to make bread, so one does not go on threshing it forever. The wheels of a threshing cart may be rolled over it, but one does not use horses to grind grain. Also, all this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent.
Amen.
So that's how
You have a very strong voice.
I was about to say that church
Beautiful.
voice, girl, that church voice.
Yeah, she
That
does.
church
You
voice.
have a very,
Good
you
art.
have a very strong
Yes, she does.
voice. And
What?
My recorded voice. I don't
Really?
like it. No.
It's beautiful.
you know why? You don't accept your recorded voice because you haven't given attention to her.
That's why
You gotta give
figure
attention
that out.
to that voice.
You feeling it,
Because
right?
that voice is so strong.
It is.
It is so powerful.
Yes.
And if the more you use that voice, because you're using the voice that people are accustomed to hearing, you gotta use her voice.
They rather get on their nerve or not.
Right.
Because whoever nerve they get on is not God.
It's
not God.
need to hear.
It's the one that
Yeah,
needs to hear that
the people
voice.
who tell you nobody want to hear that, they need to hear it. That's why. And they don't, like, you don't, like, people don't like taking medicine, but it make you better.
Right.
Your voice is medicine for them.
Yes.
I received that.
Yes, ma'am.
So you gonna see it, but you gonna walk by faith into it, because we gonna bloom where we plant, and how you gonna see it is, you just read it. Isaiah 28:23-29. Now, I have another scripture that I wanna read, and I know, like I said, that we get to the end, but one of the things that I realized in this healing journey is we have to, I asked the question earlier, and you have it on your worksheet, and I really want y'all, when you have your quiet time, to take the time and complete your worksheet, because there's another passage that the Lord gave to me, and, however much time we have today, we can kind of start the conversation, but I want us to also, when we think about healing, a lot of times we go back to like family, mostly like our parents, because that's like the foundation and inception. But a lot of times there's healing that needs to be done outside of that, family, friends, siblings. Sometimes there's healing that needs to also world and people around us and how we interact with people. Because sometimes that interaction cannot be the most pleasant, right? So, but that also comes from us doing our, putting you on the spot, but I just want you to share a little bit about what we talked about earlier, because we're not going to get completely into this conversation, but the conversation need to get started, and we continue it in our own personal spaces, and then when we come back, we will continue it, because this is a big reason why women don't empower women. Period, right? So I'm gonna get you to read again that orator. We're going to James chapter 3, verse 13 through 18. I'm gonna read conduct. Let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. Where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. That's James 3, verses 13 18.
Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and the truth, so do not. For where you have envy and self-ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemaking.
Amen.
Jewish.
How did y'all say give Maya Angelou vibes? She's giving Maya Angelou.
Y'all drinking? What y'all drinking?
Yeah. No, it's what you drinking. What you drinking. See, you didn't pass that bitter cup. God didn't pass that bitter cup from you. He gave it to you. So now you gotta use what he's given you. Because sometimes when we unforgiveness, that unforgiveness is not a lot of people, that unforgiveness is about you.
Exactly.
You unforgive yourself. When you don't forgive yourself, you are unforgiving to yourself. When you change that, then you change everything.
Yes.
See, my mama didn't have no unforgiveness for me. I had unforgiveness for myself. Because I said, you don't love me. I know you don't love me. Because, all of my life, and this is the God's honest truth, I've never heard my mother say, Gloria, I love you. In all of my life, But did that mean she didn't love me?
Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean she didn't love me. It's just that I was expecting something that she could not give me.
You see, expectations.
I was expecting something she couldn't give me. So therefore, I held on to that thing that she couldn't give me as a bad thing.
And then on the health and wellness side, when you hold that unforgiveness or anything in the inside, it starts to, you'll see it on our skin,
Yeah.
maybe our teeth,
Mhm.
maybe our weight. I'm naturally slim, but then I can get even smaller from things just being held in the inside, just sadness or different
Exactly.
things. Or if you keep weight on, you might never can get the weight off. Your skin might never come through and be looking healthy as you want it to be. All those different things, or your smell might come out and it's like, why do I smell like this, you know? And you know that's not your natural scent. That if you know yourself enough, you know what your scents are.
I'm glad you said that, sis, because blooming is not just about what we look like, it's what we smell like. It's a fragrance.
Yes.
You know, and that's why the scripture is telling us, be peaceable, be loving, give grace. As you want to receive grace, you gotta give.
You gotta give.
So my mother was older because she had us when she was 42, me and my twin sister. So we didn't get a lot from my mom. You know, my mom was tired when she had us. So my disabled aunt raised us while my mom, you know, had to work. And then my dad was disabled. He got hurt and had a stroke, so he was disabled. So they gave us all they could give us. So my mom was not a person like would say I love you. She wouldn't say that, but you knew she loved you by the things that she did because she gave her all. But the grace that we give our parents is the grace that we grace to people, giving grace to others, knowing that when you give them grace, you receive grace.
Exactly.
You know, God's grace is on us.
But
Yes.
what I agree with you. The thing that just the Holy Spirit that just triggered me is, but we can't do that, and that